Sonic, an iconic character in the gaming world and somehow still kicking even with the Sega's mascot poor track record of games. It's honestly quite admirable that he's still around. But I must admit I have a soft spot for the blue Hedgehog. So, without further ado, let's plow into Sonic Colors for the Wii, and see if it's a game that deserves some lovin', or if it deserves to be launched into space, never to be seen again. I'm Pat Kearley from the Republic of Players, and let's take a look at Sonic Colors. Sonic Colors released for the Wii all the way back in the year of 2010, which honestly baffles me and makes me feel old, which is a feeling I don't find pleasant. Colors was brought to life by the Sonic team, and they decided to go with a stripped back approach to the previous games that had multiple playable characters or play styles. The reasoning behind this was due to criticism the past games had gotten, and they decided to focus and hone in on Sonic, developing the gameplay just around him, and to make it shine. And with hindsight, I can safely say they achieved what they set out to do, but we'll get into the gameplay in a little bit. Also, a funny but sad little tidbit of information is that Sega went out of their way to delist several Sonic games with below average reviews to try and build up Sonic's street cred before Colors was to release. And I understand, Sonic wasn't in a particularly good spot at the time, but that just seems a little extreme. But let's bounce into the juicy stuff, the game itself. The story for Sonic Colors is endearing, silly and quite childish. Dr. Eggman decides to open up an interstellar amusement park in space. Sonic and Tails decide to check out what's going on because it's Dr. Eggman and he be evil. And lo and behold, they find out that Dr. Eggman is being evil. Who would have guessed? Turns out he's been capturing all these aliens called Wisps and is planning to use their energy to power a mind control weapon that will allow him to take over the Earth. Now this is an incredibly simple plot, especially for Sonic the Hedgehog, and this coincides with the idea that the team was going for, stripping back the game of some of its heavily criticised points. And let's face it lads, Sonic's games had convoluted stories that were a little all over the place, that while trying to be mature, came off as way too edgy to the point that you could cut yourself on it. So, they went for a straightforward, easy plot that is enjoyable, even if it feels like a filler arc from an anime. But it's also easily one of the most cohesive Sonic stories that you'll ever play. All of the characters feel like themselves, even if a bit more cartoonish due to the more children's cartoon vibe it radiates. Besides, at the end of the day, if your narrative is simple fun, then in my book you have succeeded. Also, with dialogue like this,
"No copyright law in the universe is going to stop me!"
How could you not be amused? Now, on to the gameplay. There's two forms of gameplay the game provides, switching between third person and 2D side-scrolling elements. The boost formula is on full display here and is exhilarating in the third person segments. The sense of speed it provides is phenomenal in so many aspects and is just a pure blast to fly through. It really lives up to the idea of speed that Sonic embodies, and it's just so naturally gratifying to zoom through maps at speeds that not many games can capture. It's probably a big case for why Sonic has been able to stick around as long as he has. The boost system really is addicting to feel and experience when you play. The 2D segments is where I find it's a little hit or miss. They're very well designed, giving you a whole heap of different paths and avenues to explore, which gives a great deal of replay value when coming back to them, and traversing these areas is a joy as you look for all its secrets or try to find the fastest route to set a new personal best on a stage. But when the platforming starts to get a bit more precise, Sonic begins to feel like a chore to handle, and halfway through jumps, his momentum just seems to slow down drastically, especially on the double jump, which takes a while to adapt to but overall doesn't feel very good to control. Also, in these 2D areas, it's very easy to lose your speed by hitting objects you just won't be fast enough to avoid. And when the thrill of speed this game pulls off so well suddenly vanishes and slows down to a grind, I couldn't help but be impatient as I trudged through it, waiting for when I could cut loose and go full throttle again. And that's not to say that these more heavily focused platform areas are bad, far from it, especially when you get to play around with the Wisp power-ups. Though controls feel like they could have been attuned a little better for Sonic in these areas. Now the Wisps, the power-ups that are a delight to use. These are a highlight of the game, as you unlock the use of them as you go through every area in the amusement park. You have your basic one that allows you to boost and reach those high octane speeds. You have the laser that makes Sonic bounce off anything he touches, or travel through certain glowing grids on the level. The drill that allows you to tunnel into the ground, the rocket that fires you into the air, the spikes, one of my personal favourites that see Sonic turn into a ball and cling to the surface he touches. You then spin dash your way through the map sticking to whatever surface you're on, whether you're upside down or the wrong way up, and it's super duper flipping cool just watching as you zoom across whatever wall, floor or roof you're on. There's Hover, which makes Sonic a balloon as you can slowly hover about the map. Cube, which unlocks certain paths by turning blue squares into blue coins, and it's honestly made some of the more interesting platform sections. And then there's Frenzy, which turns our beloved Hedgehog into a hungry hippo. One thing that must be mentioned though is Roger Craig Smith's announcement when you use the Wisps. It's just perfect. Now you unlock the use of these in other zones once you've cleared the level they are on, and it's clear that you can go back and use these power-ups in previous areas to find routes you couldn't reach before, which is a brilliant idea, great for replay value, and helps lengthen the game, as you'll be finishing this one in a handful of hours if you're just going for story alone. The game looks fantastic, even to this day, and there are some particularly incredible set pieces that really make the game shine. Each area of the amusement park is brimming with life and all have a distinct theme to them. The sweet themed world do be my bread and butter of all of them though. Not just because they look downright appealing, they also make me want to eat sweets, which I then go and do, and then I feel much happier. But it's a joy to travel through each stage. Music is something Sonic games have been nailing consistently through all their games, and Colors follows suit, with quite possibly one of the best soundtracks this series has ever produced, if not the best. Like, I said this before, but I could wank to this soundtrack, it's that bloody amazing. Like, the tracks just complement the fast-paced gameplay. From the very first stage, your ears are in for a ride with just how sensational these tunes are. If you take anything away from this review, just go listen to the soundtrack. You'd be doing yourself a favour. This is the first time I've done a review where I have really struggled to settle on what music to use in the background. Like, I could gush on this game's soundtrack for fucking ages. You'll want to dance to it, and it fits the gameplay so well. It's the closest thing I could say to a perfect OST for a game. They even have these more platform heavy sections you could challenge yourself to, and they make some of the tracks sound retro, which is even more of a blessing to one's ears. Sonic Colors is a great game, one that if you have the chance you should definitely give it a go. Its story is simple and fun, the gameplay is an utter joy to blast through at top speeds. Sure, its more tighter platforming isn't the best in my opinion, but once you get the hang of it, there's some great places to test your skill. The levels are designed expertly, allowing for a wide variety of exploration with how many different routes are able to take. The new power-ups are pure class, and all these gameplay mechanics come together wonderfully to create a brilliant experience, and also a lot of replay value. The game looks super nice, and the music is just in a league of its own. And looking back at what Sonic Team set out to do, to make a more focused Sonic game, and they bloody well did it. Sonic Colors is a video game that deserves to be in everyone's gaming shelf. If you enjoyed this, be sure to subscribe, like, and all that goobity goop. It means a lot and validates my existence. And if you've played Sonic Colors, let us know down below what your thoughts on the game is. And until next time, take it easy everyone.